On September 12, 2025, Novorossiysk erupted in flames, not from celebration, but from a massive Ukrainian drone strike. The target, a critical oil depot, a linchpin in Russia's energy exports. Explosions thundered across the Black Sea coast, sending thick smoke billowing for miles. Ukraine had perfected its long-range drone capabilities, proving their reach and precision. Disrupting Novorossiysk meant choking off vital revenue for the Kremlin. Over 50 drones swarmed the facility, overwhelming Russian defenses. Ukraine's message was clear: it could now strike deep, inflicting real economic pain. The burning depot became a symbol of Ukraine's aggressive new posture. The cost of war for Moscow was about to skyrocket. Ukraine's drone campaign isn't just about technology, it's about tactics. Attacks begin with waves of cheap decoy drones, designed to trigger and exhaust Russian air defenses. As Russian systems fire expensive missiles at these decoys, their positions are revealed and their resources depleted. Then comes the real threat: advanced attack drones, flying low and fast, equipped with precision warheads. Some use AI to evade jamming and identify targets, slipping through gaps in Russia's defenses. This decoy and dagger approach lets Ukraine punch far above its weight. The cost imbalance is stark. A decoy drone costs a fraction of a Russian interceptor missile. Ukraine can afford to lose dozens of decoys to ensure a few attack drones get through. This relentless pressure wears down Russian operators, forcing them into constant high alert. Every radar blip could be a decoy or a real threat, making split-second decisions critical. The psychological toll is immense. Mistakes mean wasted resources or catastrophic damage. Ukraine's strategy is classic asymmetric warfare, using innovation to exploit a larger enemy's weaknesses. The result? Russia's air defenses are stretched thin and every attack becomes easier than the last. Ukraine isn't just hitting infrastructure, it's grinding down Russia's ability to defend itself. The campaign is relentless, making each subsequent strike more effective. This is a war of attrition, fought with brains as much as with drones. Ukraine's approach is reshaping the battlefield and the rules of modern warfare. The message: smart tactics can outmatch brute force. Late September 2025, Ukraine struck the Primorsk oil terminal, Russia's Baltic export crown jewel, over 1,000 kilometers from Ukrainian territory. This audacious attack showcased Ukraine's leap in drone range and navigation. Primorsk is vital for Russian oil exports to Europe and beyond. The strike sent shockwaves through global shipping and insurance markets, raising risks and costs for anyone doing business there. Drones hit key infrastructure. At least 2 massive storage tanks burned for over 24 hours, and loading jetties were damaged. The goal wasn't just fire, it was to cripple the terminal's operations for weeks, if not months. Tanker loading halted, ships diverted, and Russia's export schedule was thrown into chaos. The attack was a direct hit on the Kremlin's wallet. Ukraine's reach was now undeniable, no longer limited to border regions. The industrial and economic heartlands of Russia were suddenly within striking distance. The strategic map of the war changed overnight. Ukraine demonstrated a deep understanding of how to maximize disruption. The world saw that Russia's vital infrastructure was vulnerable, no matter how far from the front. The message: Ukraine's drones could strike anywhere, anytime. The war's front lines had expanded, deep into Russia's economic core. No export route was safe. The balance of power was shifting. After each strike, Russian officials claim minimal damage or total interception. But satellite images tell the real story: scorched tanks, collapsed roofs, and blackened ground. Commercial satellites provide undeniable proof, contradicting official Russian statements within hours. This imagery is vital for independent analysts and journalists to verify the truth. The gap between Russian claims and satellite reality is a key front in the information war. The Kremlin can't control the view from space. Social media spreads these images, eroding official credibility and fueling public skepticism. For Russians near the attacks, the evidence is even more direct. They see the flames and smell the smoke. Official denials become absurd in the face of visible destruction. The truth, written in smoke and fire, is impossible to hide. Ukraine's strikes now reach deep into Russia's industrial heartland. The Bashneft-Novoe refinery in Ufa, 1,500 kilometers from Ukraine, was hit, disrupting fuel supplies far from the front. The Kirishi refinery near St. Petersburg, another key export facility, was also targeted. By hitting both refineries and export ports, Ukraine maximizes economic damage and complicates Russia's recovery. The campaign has expanded beyond oil. The Metafrax chemicals plant in Perm, a vital industrial hub, was struck as well. Ukraine is targeting the entire Russian industrial base, not just energy. The distances involved are staggering, requiring advanced navigation and endurance. Russia now faces the impossible task of defending thousands of targets across vast territory. Air defenses are stretched thin, and no strategic asset is safe. Ukraine's deep strike capability has changed the war's calculus. The message: Russia's industrial core is now a battlefield. To evade sanctions, Russia relies on a shadow fleet of tankers. Old ships, hidden ownership, and risky tactics. Ukraine has declared these vessels legitimate targets, escalating the conflict to the seas. In September 2025, Ukrainian naval drones struck a shadow fleet tanker in the Black Sea, a warning shot to Russia's oil trade. Targeting these ships is risky. It could cause environmental disasters or provoke international incidents. But the strategy is clear: make shipping Russian oil too dangerous and expensive. Even failed attacks drive up insurance costs and scare off ship owners. Without insurance, tankers can't enter most ports, strangling Russia's exports. Ukraine uses satellite tracking and maritime drones to hunt these vessels. The campaign forces Russia to defend vast shipping lanes, stretching its navy thin. The economic pressure mounts as the shadow fleet becomes a liability. Ukraine's asymmetric strategy is now hitting Russia at sea. The impact of Ukraine's drone strikes is measurable and severe. In September 2025 alone, up to 18% of Russia's refining capacity was knocked offline. Fuel shortages hit Russian regions, and the government considered export bans to stabilize supplies. Oil export volumes dropped by over 10%, a direct hit to the Kremlin's war chest. Every day, hundreds of millions in revenue are lost. The ripple effects are huge: lost jobs, disrupted supply chains, and costly repairs. Sanctions make rebuilding even harder and slower. Ukraine's strategy is economic attrition, making the war unsustainable for Moscow. The drone campaign is bankrupting Russia's war machine, one strike at a time. The data shows Ukraine is starting to win the economic war. Ukraine's drone campaign has exposed a fatal flaw in Russia's defenses. Billions spent on air defense can't stop swarms of cheap, low-flying drones. Russia faces an impossible choice: defend its vast infrastructure or its front lines. Every refinery, depot, and tanker is now a target. Across 11 time zones, the economic pressure could force Russia to negotiate or provoke dangerous escalation. Ukraine has changed the rules. Innovation and determination can threaten a superpower's economy. The message from Kyiv is clear: as long as the war continues, Russia's energy empire will be under attack. Nowhere is safe. Not the Baltic, not the Urals, not the Black Sea. The war's front lines are everywhere. The era of safe harbors for Russia's war economy is over.